She said she was taking a break from social media. I thought it was healthy. Until my sister showed me a photo, her in Paris, with her coworker. When I asked why she lied, she said, "I didn't want to deal with your reaction."
I didn't react.
I just sold the car she left at the airport. And when she landed, my wife said she was taking a break from social media. At the time, it sounded reasonable. Healthy, even. She told me she needed to unplug, clear her head, focus on her mental health. Said work was draining her, and the constant online noise was too much. Honestly, I respected it. I even told my buddies she was doing the right thing. We'd been married almost 6 years. I thought we were in a decent place. Not perfect, but decent. We had little fights here and there, mostly about money or her late hours at work. She's in digital marketing, so the lines between work and life were always kind of blurry. Still, we talked things out. Or at least, I thought we did. Her name's Elena. She's smart, sharp-tongued, stubborn as hell. I loved her for it. I really believed we were a team. I work at a parts warehouse, not exactly thrilling stuff, but it pays the bills.
I was always home by 5.
I cooked more than she did. I cleaned. I stayed loyal. I thought that counted for something. So when she said she had a 4-day work conference in Chicago, I didn't even blink. I dropped her off at the Omaha airport that Wednesday morning. It was early. Still dark out. She wore her favorite gray hoodie, no makeup, hair in a bun. She looked tired. I remember asking if she was sure she was okay. She gave me a half smile and said, "Yeah, just need some air." She kissed me and got out of the car. That was the last normal moment we had. Friday night, I was home watching a game and drinking a beer when my sister Amy texted me. Amy doesn't usually send anything unless it's urgent. So when her message came in with all caps and 3 question marks, I knew something was off. WTF. This your wife? Attached was a screenshot. It was a Facebook post. Not from Elena's page, but from someone named Todd Shepard. The photo hit me like a gut punch. There she was.
Elena.
Standing in front of the Eiffel Tower. Big cheesy grin. Wearing a black coat I'd never seen before. Her arm was wrapped around some guy. Tall, probably late 30s, smug-looking. He had his hand on her lower back. Real familiar. The caption read, "Nothing like Paris with someone who makes you feel alive. #workperks, #Paris nights." I couldn't breathe for a second. I stared at it. Closed my phone. Opened it again. It didn't change. I checked the time. Friday. 10:14 p.m. The post had been made 40 minutes ago. I sat there frozen. Then I texted her. "Where are you?" No reply. I waited. I sent another. "You said you were in Chicago. Are you in Paris?" Still nothing. Finally, after an hour, she responded. "Yeah.
Paris."
I didn't want to deal with your reaction. "We'll talk when I'm back." That's it. No apology. No explanation. Not even a lie. Just a flat out, "I didn't want to deal with your reaction." Like I was some angry dad she was hiding from. Like I didn't deserve to know what was really going on in our marriage. I didn't even know who the guy was, had never heard his name once. But from the look of it, they were more than just coworkers. I stared at her text and felt something in me switch off.
I didn't yell.
I didn't throw anything. I didn't drive to the airport screaming. I just stood up, got my spare key, and drove out. Her car, her precious black Toyota RAV4, was still parked in the airport garage. I found it right away. She loved that car more than most people love their pets. She treated it like her baby. It was clean, spotless, always had one of those pine tree air fresheners hanging from the rear view. I drove it home without thinking twice. The next morning, I called up a guy I used to work with. He runs a body shop and buys used vehicles on the side. No questions, just cash. We met up, shook hands, signed the papers. I walked away $18,500 richer. The car was in both our names. I had the title. She never asked to take me off of it. She had no idea. She landed Sunday afternoon. I didn't go pick her up. She texted when her plane landed. "Hey, can you come get me?" I replied, Your car should be there. She called me immediately. I let it ring, then picked up on the fourth. What the hell are you talking about? She snapped. I sold it, I said. Silence. You what? I sold your car. There was a beat of silence before she said, You're ing kidding. Nope. You sold my car? I had the title. It was in my name too. You lied. So, I figured you didn't need the car anymore. You're out of your mind, she yelled. That was my car. Yeah, and this was my marriage, I said. Guess we're both down a vehicle. She didn't show up at the house until after dark. I heard the knock and opened the door. She stood there in jeans and a hoodie, looking like she'd walked across the city. Hair frizzy, no makeup. Pissed.
You had no right, she said.
I just nodded. Neither did you. She walked in, dropped her bag, and we stared at each other for a solid minute. Then she said something I didn't expect. It didn't mean anything. I laughed. Right in her face. Then you flew halfway across the world with a guy you barely know for nothing? That's worse. She didn't respond. Just looked around like she didn't recognize her own house. I let her sit there in silence. Because that wasn't the end. Not even close. She spent the night in the guest room. Didn't say much after the fight at the door. Didn't cry. Didn't beg. Just sat on the couch for a while, scrolling through her phone, probably looking for damage control. I watched from the kitchen. I could see her lock screen light up every few seconds. Messages from him, I bet.
I didn't ask.
I didn't care. The next morning, I woke up early and went to work like nothing happened. Let her sit in the house alone. Let her wonder what I'd do next. She texted me around noon. We need to talk. I don't want this to spiral. I didn't answer. When I got home that evening, she had cooked dinner. Chicken and pasta, my favorite. Table was set like we were newlyweds again. Like food would undo a lie that big. I walked in, looked at the plate, and said, Why are you still here? She sat down across from me, folded her hands, and said, Because we need to have a conversation like adults. You can't just sell my car and act like that's the end of everything. No, I said. You're right. That's not the end. That's just step one. Her face changed.
She didn't like that.
She started talking fast about how she was confused, how work pressure got too much, and how Todd was just a friend at first. I didn't interrupt. I just let her talk. Let her twist the knife a little deeper with every word. Then she said this. I was going to tell you. I just needed to figure out if it was real or just, a phase. That word, phase, burned in my ears. So I said, and you needed to go to ing France to figure that out? She snapped. I wasn't happy, okay? You never listen. You just exist next to me. I stood up. I didn't cheat on you. She flinched a little when I said that. I didn't lie about where I was. I didn't disrespect you. I showed up. Every day. So don't sit there and pretend this is some deep, shared failure. You made a choice.
She looked down.
I didn't mean to fall for him. Good, I said. Then you won't mind falling with him. I walked away. The next day, I pulled all my savings from our joint account. Every dollar. I had the login. She never changed the password. She'd forgotten I handled the rent, the utilities, the auto pay for her gym membership. $7,300.
Gone.
Into my new private account. That night, she confronted me again. You drained our savings? I asked. We were going to use that for the bathroom remodel. No, I said. I was going to use it for the bathroom remodel. You were going to use it for a trip to Paris. That shut her up. She stormed into the bedroom and slammed the door. Later that week, I started divorce paperwork. Didn't tell her.
Just got a lawyer and got it going.
Quietly. She still thought she could fix this. Thought she could guilt me back into pretending. That weekend, I found Todd on Instagram. His profile was public. Real estate guy. Lived in Denver. Drove a Tesla. Had a stupid motivational quote in his bio. Winners focus on winning. I laughed. Then I did something petty. I sent him a message.
Short.
Simple.
Hey.
Just so you know, your Paris trip cost her a marriage, a car, and $7,300. Hope she was worth it. He left me on read. But 2 days later, Elena came storming into the living room with her phone in her hand. You messaged him? I didn't even look up for my drink. Yup. She started yelling about how I was trying to ruin her life. How I was acting out. How I was vindictive. You lied. I reacted. I said, you're enjoying this.
No, I said.
Not even a little. But I'm not protecting you anymore. Not from your own decisions. That night, she left the house. Packed a suitcase, slammed the door, didn't say goodbye. I thought that was the end. It wasn't. 3 days later, I got served. She was filing a motion, said I unfairly sold her vehicle, stole marital funds, and created emotional distress. She wanted half of everything. The envelope was thick. Legal print, delivered by a guy who looked bored out of his mind. When I opened it, my stomach dropped.
She was suing me.
Suing me after everything she did. Her lawyer claimed I acted with malicious intent when I sold the car, that I withheld joint marital funds without consent, and this one made me laugh out loud, that I emotionally destabilized her living situation. She also wanted spousal support. Spousal support. Elena made more than me. Always had. Her base salary alone cleared $80K a year. I was lucky to hit $50K with overtime. And now she wanted me to pay her because she couldn't keep her lies straight? I called my lawyer right after. He was a straight shooter. Old buddy of my uncle's. He looked over the papers and said, she's swinging for the fences, but it won't stick. She's trying to scare you. Still, I couldn't shake it. I knew Elena. She wasn't stupid. She was playing the long game now, painting herself as the victim. And Todd? Todd wasn't in the picture anymore. How do I know? Because 2 weeks after she left, he messaged me. His message was longer this time. Hey, man. I had no idea she was married. She told me you two were separated for months. I'm out. Just wanted to say sorry for getting dragged into this. I stared at the screen. That's when it clicked. She played him, too. Told him we were separated. Told me he was a coworker. Lied to both sides to keep her image clean. And now that her Paris fantasy was crumbling, she was trying to claw back anything she could. Money, sympathy, leverage. I didn't reply to him, but I made a note. That same week, I started getting strange calls. Unknown numbers. A woman named Marissa left me a voicemail. Said she was with a relationship coach group Elena was part of. She wanted to help us resolve things peacefully. I called her back. Told her Elena cheated.
Leet.
Ran off to Paris with another man. That I sold the car after finding out not before. She went quiet. Then she said, oh, she didn't tell me any of that. Of course she didn't. The next few weeks were war. She told friends I was abusive. Told her parents I stole from her. She left out every detail that made her look bad. The Paris trip became an impulsive escape. Todd was a misunderstanding. The car sale? A betrayal. I kept quiet. Didn't respond on social. Didn't defend myself to her people. I didn't need to. Because the next twist came from her job. She forgot one little thing. When you post vacation pics on someone else's public profile and tag it #workperks, and you told your boss you were attending a conference in Chicago, well, it raises questions. I found out through a friend of hers, Chelsea, who still liked me. She texted me one night. Just a heads up, Elena's in hot water at work. Her boss saw the Paris pics. She said she had PTO, but the dates didn't match. HR's looking into it. That was the crack in her armor. I didn't gloat. I didn't text her. But I did make a copy of every document I had. Bank records, credit card charges, text screenshots, even the Facebook photo. I made a full report and sent it to my lawyer. Then I sent it to hers. 2 days later, the tone changed. She reached out directly, no lawyer. Called me at 9 p.m. like nothing happened. I think we've both made mistakes, she said. I let her talk. She went on about healing, about letting go of resentment, about how we should move forward with peace. Then she said, if we both agree to stop this, maybe we can split things clean. I won't go after spousal. You dropped the car thing. I paused. Then I asked, did you get fired? Silence. I asked again. Still nothing. Then she whispered, it's complicated. I smiled to myself, because I knew right then. The woman who tried to twist reality, burn it all down, and walk away clean? She was finally losing control, and I wasn't done yet. She didn't answer the question, but I already knew the truth. She lost her job. Maybe not officially fired yet, but it was coming. Her boss wasn't an idiot, lying about a conference and then ending up in Paris, publicly, with hashtags and romantic captions. That kind of mistake doesn't just disappear. And now that her fantasy life was falling apart, she wanted to clean things up before it got worse. I didn't respond to her offer right away. I let her sit with that silence for a full week. No calls.
No texts.
Nothing. Just distance. In the meantime, I went to work on something else. See, when we got married, Elena insisted on doing a cute couples photo shoot with her cousin. The cousin was a photographer. Took a bunch of pics. We used one for our Christmas card that year. Still had them saved in a Google Drive we shared. And Elena? She never changed her passwords. Not once. Same login for years. So I logged in. Not to do anything cruel.
Just to take a look.
Curiosity. What I found. Gold. Photos from the Paris trip. Some Todd had posted. Others Elena took herself and saved to the cloud. There were dozens. Kissing by the river. Holding hands on a boat. At dinner, leaning into him. One pic, they were in bed, plates of room service next to them. She was in a robe. She never deleted them. So I copied every one. Then I made a folder and labeled it. For the divorce. I printed the worst ones and gave them to my lawyer. When her lawyer saw the full spread of pictures and the timeline, everything shifted. She went quiet again. No more requests. No more threats. 2 weeks later, I got an email from my lawyer. Her side has agreed to drop all claims. You keep the house, vehicle funds, and remaining savings. They're requesting a mutual non-disparagement clause in return. Translation: she wanted out. Quietly. No spousal support, no shared assets, no court dates. She knew she had nothing left. But I wasn't done. See, while this mess was going on, her old job posted an opening online. Her old job. Same title. Same department.
Same salary.
I applied for fun. Of course, I didn't qualify. But I used it as an excuse to talk to the company's recruiter. And during that phone call, I mentioned something small. Hey, just curious. Was this role open because of that thing with the Paris trip? There was a pause. Then she laughed and said, you heard about that, huh? Yeah, poor judgment. Real poor judgment. I didn't need to say another word. After we finalized the divorce, I sent Elena one final text. I hope Paris was worth it. No reply. But I wasn't hoping for one. About 2 months later, I ran into Chelsea, her old friend who had tipped me off. We met for coffee. Just catching up. She laughed when I asked how Elena was doing. She's working at some startup now. Less pay. Living with her aunt in Lincoln. Todd blocked her on everything. She tried reaching out, but he's dating someone else now. I nodded. Sounds about right. Then Chelsea looked at me and said something I won't forget. You know, she always thought you were boring. Too steady. Too loyal. Too normal. She said she wanted fireworks. I sipped my coffee and said, yeah? Well, she got burned. It wasn't just about the car or the money or the cheating. It was about the lie. The years I spent thinking I had a partner while she was already halfway out the door. Selling the car? That was just the start. The real revenge was letting her see exactly what she threw away. And not once, did I raise my voice or beg her to stay. She told me she didn't want to deal with my reaction. So I made sure she never had to again.